सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तपोभिक्षीण पापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Did we finish the 49th yesterday? We just started. जीवन्मुक्तस्तु तद्विद्वान् पूर्वोपाधिगुणांस्त्यजेत् सच्चिदानन्दरूपत्वात् भवेद्भ्रमरकीटवत् भवेद्भ्रमरकीटवत्। There is this example which talks about the wasp which on the windowsill or the crevices or the doors which are not that very frequented or opened, it also profiles us. This fellow living in this house, which are the doors and windows that they regularly use and which they don't regularly use. Identifying that which is not regularly used, they start piling soft clay onto a corner and create a nest, a small nest. And then they lay their larva, and when it hatches, before the outside environment can swoop in as a good fresh food, they pick that worm and put it in that particular nest that they have created. And on that nest they have a very small, tiny hole entrance. And it almost feels like the wasp is sitting on the outside, constantly Must have been an Indian parent in its last life. Constantly scolding or constantly yelling at the worm inside. And it gives the feed, so that the poet is imagining and he thinks that it is constantly stinging and threatening the worm. So having seen that wasp again and again and again, an unusual form of a worm transforms itself into a wasp. That is what happens even in the case of the butterfly. That it comes out as a worm, as a caterpillar, and that caterpillar, its job is, next time I can use this example. It eats tons and tons of leaves. When I say tons and tons of leaves, it is almost like a handful of a half a dozen caterpillars can empty out all the leaves in a good healthy bush. Khatam. Like how when you eat probably the pan, the beetle leaf, you take out the middle stem, you weed it out and nicely peel it out and then apply whatever you have to apply before you eat. These fellows also have the same habit. They will leave those veins and stem intact. The rest of the leaf is eaten up. And then settle down on an unreachable corner, unassuming corner, where they will not be disturbed, underneath the leaf, so that they are not easily detectable. And after a while, emerges out from that caterpillar that went in. It's it's such amazing thing the nature does. The true transformation happens. An ugly, scary looking, fattened caterpillar, a worm, goes inside and creates a nest around itself and comes outside. Complete makeover. There is no similarity between what went in and what came out. A complete makeup session. That it went in as one form, comes out completely transformed. So that example is taken here, and it is said, jīvanmuktastu tadvidvān. You may add one word just for our understanding. Tadvidvān vidhi. Know that person as jīvanmukta. pūrvopādhiguṇāṃstyajet. And probably this is where Gurudev got the intensity of an idea, which he, when translated it to English, was quite impactful. He used to say, what is Vedanta? Just 2 steps. Peel away and attach. So he says, peel away all the upadhi guna and its impact on one's own self, creating a very limited identity. Having given that up, tyajet tīrtvā, ascertaining saccidānandarūpatvāt, that one is that pure Brahman, which is of the nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, the existential principle, Chit, the knowing principle, Ananda, the blissful expression. Now, Sat is Chit, Chit is Ananda, Ananda is Sat. They are not three different aspects. It's one and the same. Therefore, the other day I had said, I exist, I know that I exist, and I throb forth, I express forth as bliss. Because of the limitations that I am attached with, I stay in a constant flux of agitation. Continuously, something or the other that I have to be incessantly agitated about. Chinta has become the jiva's nature. And as Tulsidas ji puts it, Chinta Chita Saman. He says, Chinta and Chita, there is only one nasal sound extra. And because of that one nasal sound extra, we are lighting our own fire. Lighting our own fire. Every jiva is performing his own sati. Constantly being agitated has become our nature. So much so that if by mistake the mind is quiet and alert and awake, we see it as a bad omen. Kuch to hone wala hai. Something bad is going to happen. Why? Because the mind is quiet. This is like the calm before the storm. Something bad is happening. Why? Because it is unusual that I cannot be this calm. Not having trained our mind to be in that state of calm, we feel bored. And we go out and thrust our boredom onto others. So Gurudev's way of putting it is, if you cannot tolerate yourself being yourself, don't thrust it onto the world outside in the name of boredom. Very powerful word. And we also announce that when we talk, Pata nahi, I was nothing to do, I was feeling bored, so I thought I will talk to you. Oh, I am your time pass or what? Because you did not know what to do, you did not have, therefore I become your time pass. Time pass meaning, I am not your entertainment. Oh, how rude you are. Rude is you who wants to thrust your boredom on me. That is not rude. And I have to be compassionate to that world. So these upadhis which create limitation wherein it gets agitated, agitation takes to that point wherein it has become our second nature, that we have not trained ourselves to be in quietude. The one who can find that quietude where they have focused that mind to turn within, to realize that one's own nature is Sat, Chit, Ananda, and meditate upon it so that all the erroneous perceptions, erroneous habits can be removed, and to stabilize in within, because there are lots and lots of assumed confusions. We assume wrong and spin around in our own confusions, thinking that that which I have assumed is reality. And then You don't want to be the only one around. Therefore, you want a validation from others. ठीक ही कर रहा हूँ ना? I'm okay, right? I'm right? I'm correct, right? And you want validation from others because we feel stuck. But instead, dropping all these upadhis and limitations, removing all the confusion, sandeha, and removing all the viparyaya, thereby that which is understood by the intellect, I abide in it as my true nature. Continuing. tīrtvā mohārṇavaṃ hatvā rāgadveṣādirākṣasān yogī śāntisamāyukta ātmārāmo virājate. This particular shloka very beautifully reminds a particular kriti by Sadashiva Brahmendra Saraswati. Even the words look very, very similar. Khelati mama hridaye Shri Ramaha khelati mama hridaye. Khelati, khelta hai. Moha mohārṇava tarakakari rāgadveṣa mukhāsura rari. Mukhasura Mari. See here also see. tīrtvā mohārṇavaṃ hatvā. tīrtvā hatvā rāgadveṣādirākṣasān. Rāgadveṣa mukhasura Mari. Yogī śāntisamāyukta śānti videha sutta sahachari dahara yoga nagara vihari. So it is that popular Ramayana story which is like a underlying theme, it seems like, wherein he says tīrtvā mohārṇavaṃ hatvā rāgadveṣādirākṣasān śāntisamāyukta ātmārāmo virājate. 4-step formula. See, the same concept will be constantly repeated in various formats. In one place he says 3-step formula. In the earlier shloka he said 2-step formula. And now he is saying it is 4-step formula. Just like when Bhagavan Rama, upon the pressure of Sita, who wanted the golden deer. In Valmiki Ramayana, he tells very clearly, have you ever seen a golden deer? It is not the natural disposition. Why? And Sita ji there acts like a true Indian wife and khari koti sunati hai. Okay, fine, I'll go get. So Sita ji is symbolically in Adhyatma Ramayana is described as the jiva who is confused about the Jagat which looks very attractive like the golden deer. And gets abducted because of her moha by rāgadveṣā ityādi represented Ravana, who is 10-headed fellow. It was only very, very later that I understood why Ravana is in such imbalance. See, I can understand 11-headed fellow, 3-headed fellow, but 10-headed fellow is a difficult thing to understand. Supposing this is the center, on one side you will have how many? 4. The other side you will have 5. So why is there imbalance in his life? Constantly it has to be like this only, right? This clicked when in Dallas we had to do the Ram Leela and Ravan Dahan, and as I say, I like doing things hands-on, so I created that putla. And I wanted to do a small one symbolically, but having seen that small one, it was about 1.5 feet to a gathering of about 2,000, 3,000 people. That 1.5 feet, I myself was not happy with it. So overnight I redid the entire thing to a 12-foot one now. So it is at that time I realized that this is such a difficult task. How do you create that balance? It always goes this way. So then I reformatted to create some sense of balance in Ravana. I created a pyramid. 1 head, then followed by 2 heads, then followed by 3 heads. Kitne saru hai? Then followed by 4 heads. So 4, 3, 2, 1. A nice triangular pyramid. And then on the shoulders, then it stood properly. Imagine a 12-foot one like this, and then it starts leaning. I said, I don't want to be competing with the 7 wonders of the world. Do you know there is one leaning tower of Pisa? कहाँ फ्रांस में है, रोम में, इटली. So that thing would have become my Ravana. So Ravana is like the representation with those heads of all that which is negativities. Ragadveṣā, asūya, asmita, abhinivesha, all of that. Those 10-headed fellow. The jiva is abducted by the monstrous rāgadveṣā. Rāgadveṣādirākṣasān. Therefore, what happens to that jiva? Shanti is lost. So what is the reverse engineering here? Because whatever has been explained so far, we are already there. Do we have Shanti? We would say, what is it? Which mall or which shop do you get it? 2 kilo humko bhi de do. So when somebody's house I go for bhiksha, and I say, they've already fed. They've fed too much. So much that I am fed up. Fed up there. And then they say, हाँ, sorry, और क्या चाहिए? I say, 2 गिलास शांति. We have lost that Shanti. So what is the reverse engineering? What is it that has made us so impatient, so limited, that there is a constant agitated existence? See, before you come, because during the day people use this space, they come, sit, and the fan speeds are changed. So before you come, I sit down with those regulator and start playing around, because there is no proper indication on it that this is the fastest speed, this is the slowest speed, and each regulator is of a different module. One has a click system, the other has a rotary. All are rotary, but you will see the confusion when you try it. And in the nick of the moment, if something else is, they will mess up the entire thing, and instead of removing one sound, they'll add more sound. So I stand there and keep working at each one of them. Why? There is that constant tuck, 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 tuck. Sometimes we get habituated to the tuck, 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 tuck. That until it is turned off, we don't realize how much pressure was inside trying to acclimatize with that tuck, 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 tuck sound. Once it is such a relief. Many times we don't even recognize that we are not under that state of relief, constantly under that pressure. Shh. Sit down. Don't speak. You are not only late, you are also disturbing. So don't speak. So there's this constant buzzing sound which we have so gotten used to that we don't end up realizing that there is that pressure constantly. You turn it off, there is a sense of relief. There is that Shanti. This is rāgadveṣādirākṣasān hatvā. These different tendencies in which we are constantly, soaked in, grabbed by, that there is no other space available. There is a story where the student goes to the master and he says, "Teach me the highest in this meditation." Says, "You come from a long distance, first have a cup of tea." And he pours, the cup fills, it overflows into the saucer is about to overflow, it is piping hot. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Please have, it's for your," he says, "It's going to overflow." He says, "Unless you empty, anything else cannot be put in, it will only overflow." So the first thing that we have to do is clean it up thoroughly. When I say clean it up thoroughly, it is full, you might assume that it is something solid in shape or form. Therefore, the word vasana has such good meaning. Today is 16th? 16th, right? So tomorrow also we will have class, because for 3 days we have to go to Bombay. The entire team has to go to Bombay for some conference and training. And supposing I forget these fruits and bananas in the tray there, and because I am not there, the space was not cleaned, nobody came to clean. the day I come back. This window is a west facing window. So from about 12:45 to 5:45, a solid 5 hours, the hottest sun makes this space a good big size oven. A serious oven this is, induction oven. The heat comes from there, the wind comes from here, and the heat is rotated. Everything is baked to perfection. So the bananas forgotten, the fruits forgotten, they are all on the tray on that particular table, and it has gone through several phases. That there is a, what do you call that, biological warfare developed. Because by the time you come back, there is green spores about 1.5 inches long. And then as you step in, the whole space has it's filled with stench. Sometimes that stench is so hard that even the curtains and the fabric has soaked in, absorbed in all the smell. So what should one do at this stage? Identify the source of stench. Clean it up. Open all windows and doors possible. Don't forget to put the door stopper, otherwise they will keep banging in. Thoroughly secure. Let the pavana do the pavana karma. Because air is supposed to be the purifier. Strangely, we buy air purifiers. Are bhaiya, air is the purifier. You don't have to do much. Open the cross ventilation. It's supposed to be Vedantic space, right? Open the cross ventilation. Let that air do the job. But then we are very modern and very, very sophisticated. We buy the उसको क्या बोलते, एयर प्यूरिफायर बोलते हैं ना उसको. We buy bunch of air purifiers and spray it around and not take away the root cause. Temporarily it is a fix. Temporarily it is called a feel good factor. And immediately after a certain while, again the stench takes over. Unless we have identified the root cause, cleared it out, cleaned it out, opened for through ventilation, however purifiers you may pump into the space, it is like we say, yatha sthanam pratisthapayami kshemaya punaragamanaya cha. The stench will keep coming back again and again and again. Don't we do the same thing in the name of sadhana? Instead of looking at the root cause, instead of looking at where is it stemming forth from, which our Vedanta Shastra has already identified and named it as vasana. There can be su-vasana, dur-vasana. Durvasana the source along with which it is creating that durvasana, stench, has to be identified and removed. And then suvasana, the samskara, has to be introduced so that it gets flushed out. And while doing that, keep the doors and windows open so that even that suvasana is flushed out, taking away all the durvasana for good. What remains is pure, impeccable space. The air does not have any kind of irritants. But instead of looking at the root cause, we run through the, I said, things are not going well in life, mind is agitated, life is agitated, experiences are bad. So I take a vow that I have promised to Bhagavan Balaji in Tirupati that I will get my brother's hair mundana and drag him. Parents do that. बेटे के नाम पे लिया, बेटे से करवा दिया. तो खुद का करो ना, करना है तो. Suddenly we expect, without taking away the root cause, that suddenly everything should, because I have gone to Tirupati now. I have spent so much and Tala Neelalu I have given to Bhagavan, now he will take care. Bhagavan says, what kind of foolishness is this? Whatever you have spent along with the interest, take it back. Just because you have spent, I am not liable for your foolish approach. You have to put the effort to clean that out. Identify it first. Or call a few Panditjis and have a havan, have a Satyanarayan Katha, 5 stories after that, which instill good amount of fear. This fellow had everything lost because he did not do this. This fellow did everything because he did not share it. He did it because he did not invite. Because 5 stories are like that only, right? So many people ask, ये क्या story है Swami ji? I said, Bhagavan you get close to because of 2 reasons. And in Telugu way of saying it, bhakti is one aspect. The other aspect is bhaya. Therefore, when we very colloquially use, Veedik bhattiga bhaya bhaktul levu. Either you should have fear or you should have bhakti. Where there is bhakti, there is no fear. Where there is fear, there is no bhakti. Let's say, at least with fear you have turned. Maybe in future you will turn because of bhakti. So we have done the havan, we have done Satyanarayan Puja, we have done, nowadays the newer thing is, the pujaris, we don't have time for these regular pujas, Swamiji. Why? We have a good clientele and we do japas for them. Japal jaistar kada. That too online. Over the phone, japalu. Yeah. Even japa online I can understand. Shraddha online. This fellow is here and the pujari is somewhere else and he is offering pinda darpana there, not here. We create this make-believe, superficial. See, all these steps, all these processes which I have said have a purpose, have a meaning. But we are misusing it for a wrong purpose, expecting the greatest result in the name of sadhana. The root cause of our ashanti is our own negativities. Each one has different shades of these negativities. And if you have not recognized it, the world that you are interacting with has already recognized it for you. Because they call you with those names. Ore somarputva, you foolish lethargic fellow. They have done us good time saver. They have identified that in us. Ammo, vada. Vadi kopam tappa inkoti ledu. They have identified it for us that this fellow is ridden with this is the predominant negativity. Tell me, has the world not told this to us several times? What is the negativity in us? Yes or no? We may have liked it, we may have not liked it, that is a different case study. Has the world honestly given their opinion about you? Even if you had not evaluated? I didn't know. You can't, because if you are not awareful, the others who are intelligent, awareful, they have identified it for you. What have we done to look into it? When I was 10 years old, 15 years old, the same insecurity, the same inferiority complex, the same insecurity, the same fears, the same kinds of agitations, therefore jealousy with everybody around. Born out of jealousy, I talk ill about people or try to pull their stature down, their effort down, or something or the other. See, whenever we recognize our own patterns, we must have recognized it right from 10, 11, 12 years old, or even earlier. And don't say, we chinna pannu chinte. Have we not said that? And we are now at the third phase of our life. Almost about 75% of our life is done. And yet, and all these many 75% of it, we have done sadhana also. Sporadically we have done japa, sporadically we have done puja, sporadically we have attended satsang, sporadically we have even attended study groups, conducted study groups, can chant Vedic chanting, Bhagavad Gita chanting, Lalita Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama, Saundarya Lahari, Narayaniyam, name it, I had done it. जो कुछ है सब कुछ कर डाला मैंने, खत्म हो गया. And then those becomes like the badges that we carry on our sleeve. I have memorized it. I have done it. So somebody came to our Swami Guruji. I said, Swamiji, for 11 days I have done 108 times each day Hanuman Chalisa. So very casually he said, अब रोज कितना करते हो? कर तो दिया ना स्वामी जी. So he looked at him very compassionately, disapprovingly. He said, देखो, खाना एक दिन में You don't devour a mouthful of food and say you are done. You have to take it in portions and a consistent timings, but daily. When a doctor gives you prescription, I'm very forgetful. Who will remember it for next 7 days or 9 days? So first day itself I have taken all of it. See, this antibiotics and other things, you have to take it regularly with that interval which has been given. You cannot skip anything in between. The consistency has to be maintained. Otherwise, you are creating a full-blown resistant bacteria. 2 days on, 2 days off. क्या कराटे है क्या ऑन ऑफ करने के लिए, वैक्स ऑन वैक्स ऑफ. It has to be consistently done, without missing, without skipping. Sporadically we do. And then the audacity to come back and say, Swamiji, our religion is not like other religions. Why can't our religion be like other religions? There are those who do Jumme ke Jumme. There are those, see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they are divided among those three. Friday is the Islamic, Saturday is the Jewish, and Sunday is the Christian. The three Abrahamic have divided. 1 day per week and done. Baba, ours is not a sporadic effort. It has to be consistent, it has to be daily. But then we have done all things sporadically. Oh, I do sadhana, Swamiji, I chant Lalita Sahasranam, I chant Vishnu Sahasranam. Okay, you chant it daily? No, I used to do it. I have done it regularly for 3 months, 2 years ago. This is all in the name of sadhana. I used to attend satsangs regularly. बाद में क्या हुआ? Realization हो गया? No, स्वामी जी, टाइम नहीं मिला. All these sporadic events, and then they claiming that I am spiritual already. That which we have recognized even before we have hit our teens, as our different waves of tsunami of negativities, it has been there consistently since then. We have already done with 70-75% of our life. Still, I mean, if not anything, that has only gotten aggravated. They have not gone. And then the second layer of audacity is, Swamiji, satsang, chanting, I have already done. Meditation सिखाओ ना यार. Who are we trying to fool? We already have feathers on our cap. Stotra chanting done, Vedic chanting done, Parayan done, bouts of japa done, satsanga done, study groups done, not just attending, conducting also done. All this done. अभी कुछ नया करो ना. Same thing again and again. But the fact is, these basic, baser way of life, have we worked on it intelligently? rāgadveṣādirākṣasān hatvā. Because without that, there is no shanti. A very beautiful statement that Bhagavad Gita says. Unless there is shanti, peace within, there cannot be sukha. Even if that was a fleeting moment, I do not have the opportunity to enjoy that sukha. See, if you are in a spinner, that G-force, in the Air Force, or those pilots when they have to fly at Mach 1, Mach 3, so they are spun around. It's like G-force is 7, 8. And while you are spinning, you love Rasgulla. That is given. Try aiming it into your mouth. It will go into your nose, it will go into your eyes, it will go everywhere else other than the mouth. To hold it in hand becomes difficult when you are being spun around that fast. So, ashantasya kutaha sukham. If the internal antakarana is constantly agitated, ashanti, even if that sukha is given by Guru's grace, by Ishvara's anugraha, that has been prasada given to you, and yet we will not be able to hold on to it, let alone enjoy it. To put it in a very pragmatic way, Swamiji, my mind is agitated, but I am happy. Can you make that statement? Both these together? If you are agitated, means you are not happy. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says, first shanti, then sukha. Ashanti is because dukkha nivritti has not happened. Unless dukkha nivritti happens, shanti is not there. Unless shanti is there, sukha cannot be even entertained. Therefore, sarva rāgadveṣādirākṣasān hatvā mohārṇavaṃ tīrtvā. How much or what is the quantity of our moha? Delusional perceptions. I can give you a couple of examples of delusional perception. Close to about 90 to 95% of our life is constantly repeated. Every single day. In the same regular pattern. Morning you wake up, morning you coffee, morning you take bath, morning you do the same pattern repeats. Is it okay to say about 95% of our life is constantly repeated? You agree? Even if you are going to job, it is the same kind of thing. Repeat. How long have you been repeating that same repeatable mode? Not days, not weeks, not months. For decades we have been repeating the same pattern. If you have repeated something over that many years, shouldn't we have already perfected those things? Because we neglect perfecting it, these are the regular. The 5% is unknown, unknowable, unpredictable. Those are the curve balls of our lives that will hit us by shock. That will leave us in shock. Imagine the 95% which we should have perfected, we have not perfected. It's already grabbing all our time, attention and resource. That 5% when it happens, what will happen? I'm already super agitated. That 5% when it happens, I'm toppling down. And it has happened to us several times. Instead of fixing it, we run to pillar and post. कोई तावीज बांधता है, ये तावीज बांधने से हो जाएगा. एमुलेट, तावीज, तायतम, तावीज आदि का मंत्र फूक के तावीज पहनो तो सब ठीक हो जाएगा. अरे देन इफ दैट वाज ट्रू, अरे बंद करो ना ये सत्संग, तावीज का दुकान लगाते हैं. इफ दैट वर ट्रू, इफ दैट वाज इफेक्टिव, we'll have better market, we'll have more inflow of people, we'll have more inflow of fundraising without having to run to anybody. See, the 95% of our life is not catered to, not perfected. Everybody has to go through that 5% which is unknowable. It will hit us and you can't avoid it. If this is already irregularized, disturbing pattern, and when that hits us, it's down the way. Therefore, tune your karma through the attitude of karma yoga. So that 5% when it hits you, it takes you by surprise rather than takes you by shock. We have seen it. And yet, what is the moha? Something from the external will happen magically, suddenly change my life. आएगा, आएगा, आएगा आने वाला. So my counter offer song is जाएगा, जाएगा, जाएगा जाने वाला. जाएगा भी. Even so many opportunities that have come to our life. In our own life, we have seen so many great masters. We have taken lot of hastakshara. We have trophied all the signatured material, letters, souvenirs. I mean, how much have we reduced that master to? That which he is indicating through these scriptures and constant satsanga is the highest and nothing but the highest. Except that, we have marginalized that. Except that, everything else stupid is necessary in the name of sadhana. The most invaluable thing that has been given is what? Isn't it this Vedanta Tattva? Except that, we have prioritized everything else, and Vedanta, we have left it to His grace, which is already offered. So, first win over these negativities, cross over the moha delusion, find that peace within. And such a peaceful, focused mind is qualified for Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. That once you hear with that quiet mind, Saccidānanda every time we swing to that Manobuddhya Hankara Chittani Naham in that beautiful music, dimmed light, nice AC room, and you play that song, increase the bass, and it is like Manobuddhya Hankara Chittani Naham, and you swing to it. Ahaha, oh, अरे बोल क्या रहा है वो? What exactly is that saying? I mean, Bhaja Govindam is like a tight slap on that sadhaka. Wake up, you fellow. See, musically singing it, it is easier to remember. That is the purpose. What is it saying? Every day morning, Subbalakshmi ji in that cassette is repeated. One side is Bhaja Govindam, the other side is Vishnu Sahasranamam. Ragamalika. Meaning every paragraph is in a different raga. And we sing along with it. The very fifth word or sixth word, Bhaja. The moment we hear it, but we don't, that is not the purpose, the meaning is not the purpose. So find that Shanti. Without that Shanti, there is no possibility of this Atma Sukha. I'll stop here. Oh, perfect. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shant Shant Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.